Welcome to Judge Silverback's court. In this episode, a legendary track announcer is silenced after 55 years. His boss claims he was drunk at the microphone. The announcer swears it wasn't booze, but a dental disaster. When the evidence is this hard to swallow, who will cross the finish line with unemployment benefits? Find out in The Case of the Slurred Speech.
Please take your seats. Okay, I've reviewed the paperwork. This hearing will determine whether the claimant is entitled to unemployment benefits and whether the employer is charged. The parties agree the separation was a discharge. Who is here for the employer?
Mr. Pimlico, General Manager of the Laguna Racetrack. And my witness and secretary, Ms. Priscilla Wilkinson.
And for the claimant?
Mark Blair, claimant's representative, sir. I have Billy Smith, the claimant, and our witness, Dr. Caviati, the claimant's dentist.
Let's swear everyone in. Do you affirm to tell the truth, Mr. Pimlico?
Do I swear to tell the truth? Yes.
Miss Wilkinson? Mr. Smith? Dr. Caviati?
Yes, I do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Mr. Blair, you are not testifying, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, who was your last employer?
Laguna Racetrack.
And your position?
As the name states, horse racing. I was the full-time track announcer.
How long did you work there?
Since the track opened 55 years ago. My last day was May 10th. I was discharged after the 5th race.
Mr. Pimlico, what was the reason for the discharge?
He was drunk at work.
Does the track have a drug and alcohol policy?
Here it is, along with the alcohol test results.
Joey, please retrieve the documents and provide the claimant with a copy.
Judge, I object to the admission of these documents. The employer failed to provide a signed acknowledgement of the policy by my client. Furthermore, the alcohol results are not authenticated.
Overruled. Hearsay is admissible in this court, Mr. Blair, but I will note your objection regarding the weight of the evidence. Mr. Pimlico, what caused you to test the claimant?
Ms. Wilkinson informed me Mr. Smith was slurring his words on the PA system. We have the tape to play, Judge.
Well, let's hear it.
Welcome to Laguna Racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. It's a YY track. The whores are at the way. And they run. Whomping out to the lead is Murray. Guck Ader claws behind. Shride for shride they go. Googe Ader losing stream. Wazzy Bonds waking a woo. But it's a woozy. Jealous in the back. Down the stretch they come. It's Doozy and Wazy Bones. Zingits neck and neck. It's Doozy, Lazy Bonds. It's Doozy followed by Wazy Bones and Wastro taking third face. Next roast is 2-year-old.
Miss Wilkinson, other than the slurring of words, did you notice any other symptoms that led you to believe he was intoxicated?
I smelled alcohol on his breath, and I then administered the sobriety test.
Miss Wilkinson, have you administered this test before?
I did one other in 2015. It's rather simple. I have him blow into the device.
Are you certified to administer drug or alcohol tests?
No, I am not.
Have you ever known Mr. Smith to drink excessively in the many years you've known him?
There's always a first time.
Are you aware the track wanted to fire Mr. Smith due to his age?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained. Mr. Blair, stick to the separation event.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, were you drinking?
No, Your Honor, I don't drink. I see too many people who can't control their liquor at the track. It's not for me.
Then explain the slurring and the smell.
I was at the dentist that morning. The new dentures were too big. They wouldn't stay in place. I had to take them out to call the race. I used mouthwash when I removed them. That was the smell.
Oh, did you tell Miss Wilkinson this?
I tried. She asked me if I was drinking, which I denied. I tried to tell her I had just come from the dentist, but she put her hand up to stop me and wouldn't let me explain. For the last few years, I've sensed they've been wanting to get rid of me, saying things like, "Do you still have the energy to call races? Wouldn't you rather be in the stands like the other old patrons betting their retirement checks?" They were looking for any excuse to fire me. The alcohol test couldn't have registered anything. I only drink water when calling a race.
Mr. Blair, do you wish to call Dr. Caveat?
Not necessary, Judge. We submitted the dental records proving the appointment that morning. The employer failed to meet their burden. All they had to do was listen. Instead, they rushed to judgment on a faithful 55-year employee because of ill-fitting dentures. And their tester isn't even certified.
Okay, I believe I've heard enough. Let's take a short recess, and I'll be back with my decision.
This episode is sponsored by FlatRateAppeal.com. If you're in need of representation for your upcoming unemployment hearing or appeal, contact Flat Rate Appeal at 866-805-9492.
Welcome back. I've made my decision in the matter. I am ready to rule. I find in favor of the claimant. I find the claimant's testimony demonstrably more credible. The intoxication was a dental issue, and the smell was mouthwash. The employer failed to investigate properly. Mr. Smith is eligible for benefits. And Mr. Pimlico, next time maybe check the horse's mouth or the goat's before you bet on a firing. Court is adjourned.
Hi, my name is Spencer Cohn. I'm the executive producer of Judge Silverback's court. I wanted to discuss with you this particular case about drug and alcohol policies at the workplace. Although this case was humorous, it was in fact true. My client was suspected of drinking just because his dentures didn't fit, and as a result, he was called into Human Resources office and he was instructed to take a drug test, or alcohol test in this case. It's interesting that these drug and alcohol policies that employers have, either a certified clinic is going to administer the test, or a coworker may administer the test. There are problems when an employer uses a coworker to administer the test because they don't have the expertise to take a test. They don't know how long to, after the test is taken, what to do with the test and what the test results even indicate. These are things that when you get an employee handbook, you should ask whether the test is going to be a random test that I'm going to have to take, or is it going to be based on suspicion? If it's based on suspicion, what are the symptoms that are going to cause suspicion? Is it just because a coworker doesn't like me or her or him and decides, hey, I think he should be tested because I believe he's drunk? There must be something more than just somebody saying, I think that person's drunk or that person's high in some way. So what do you look at? You look at to see whether the person's leaning against walls, if he's slurring their words, if they're leaning against walls to walk, if they have red eyes. If any of those symptoms occur, you should not go into work. You should call in sick. On the other hand, you could be tested just by random drug testing. The problem with that is suddenly you're randomly tested, but how come you're randomly tested every other week when others are not? Then there's a question whether you're really randomly drug tested. Well, then once you are determined by the employer that you are intoxicated or you're high in some way, the employer will offer to take you home. And be leery of that. because what the employer will do is they'll give you a coworker. They'll assign a coworker to take you home, and that coworker will someday, maybe down the road, become a witness. So you always want to either ask for a cab or call a family member to take you home. The other thing I wanted to mention is that you always have the ability to take a second test. So if you get a test where you fail, always ask to take a second test. The employer will not necessarily offer it to you. And if they don't offer it, it'd be a good idea to take it anyway and pay the few dollars to take the test. I also wanted to mention to you that when you get an employee handbook and you look at the section about drug and alcohol policy, you want to find out what is the level that's going to determine whether you were drunk or intoxicated, or what's the level of a controllable substance in your body. These are things that you should look at a little bit more closely and ask the employer, how is he going to administer the test? Who is going to administer the test? And what are the levels that would qualify one to be determined to be drunk or intoxicated or high? I hope everybody continues watching Judge Silverback's Court. We have a lot more episodes to go through, and they're, as I mention always, it's real dialogue, it's real content. Only the parties are manageable. Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next episode on YouTube of Judge Silverback's Court. If you wish to share your story or interested in sponsoring an episode, you can reach us at ableunemployment@gmail.com. All hearings are based on various unemployment hearings around the country. However, all characters are fictional and any similarity or likeness is purely coincidental. Results may vary depending on the state you're in. Judge Silverback's Court is not intended to give legal advice. If you need help with an unemployment issue or appeal, always consult an attorney or legal aid for your particular situation.